Some people are more bottom than others.
Hello? Hello, is this thing on? Hello? Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh my god, it's JV2 in my time zone. What an incredible thought. Hello, Vivi. Anyway, hello. Hi, I'm back. How are you? I, uh, I realized an unintended consequence. As you may have noticed, a little bit before I left, I started dating my stream titles because that's the way it's easier to tell when I send them over to YouTube which ones go in which order. They're all over there. They're just not public. I found. I'm sorry if I'm still congested. I've been sick for the last week with an unknown disease, and I don't. It's pissing me off. Anyway, I realized that almost to the day, it has been 2 months since the last stream, and that's unacceptable. The last stream was 0207. It's now 0408. Anyway, so let me there we go. Hello. So I've been gone. I was helping Vivi move because I am a stupid man who likes my friends. And I was like, yeah, I'll go down to us. That's a good excuse. I'll leave my house. So, I take the train. I end up through a couple of transfers in the greater Chicagoland area. I get to see Pake and Mocha. I get on a flight. I get on another flight from San Francisco Airport. I have a middle seat. I was having a little bit of baby rage about this because for some reason, the long leg of my first journey was being serviced by Qantas, but it was reserved through American. And as such, I didn't get the privilege of picking my seat. Now, I am I'm a wet boy. I'm a hydrated boy. I like to drink water and liquids and fluids. I like them in my body. Unfortunately, this means I piss. Great, we're 13 minutes into the stream. We're already talking about piss. So I'm also a conscientious boy. I am Kukiomi Speedrunner 3000. So, Kasidu, hello Bucky, how are you? So, I always get an aisle seat, no matter what. I get an aisle seat towards the back of the plane because that has the highest rate of survival if the plane crashes, even though that's not something I'm afraid of. I have YouTube Premium, so I was downloading shit for like the 2 weeks in advance to just have like infinite media on the plane. I was downloading like plane crash documentaries because I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Anyway, so I get the middle seat. And I'm like, in the lead up to this, I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I'm so stressed out by this because I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna be in between two people for over half a day. It's gonna suck. What do I do? So I develop a plan. At one point, I realize I have Balatro on my phone and it causes a manic episode. We won't get into that. Middle seat, max rage. Yes. So I sit down. Next to me, the window seat, this tiny Australian woman. Very talkative, perfectly lovely. And then the other person sits down. A unit of a man who has certain qualities that will become very entertaining. So, I sit down, never talk to him. Me and the woman talked a little bit. Qantas, by the way, thoroughly recommend. The food, some of the best I've ever had on an airplane. So, I pop on my little mask. I pop on my headphones. I eat dinner. I pop a Benadryl. I fully drug myself, and I'm kind of like, I'm not feeling so good. What's wrong? But I'm like fully drugged, so I don't know what's going on. I noticed the man next to me has a certain proclivity. Almost as soon as we're in the air and they're serving beverages, he asks for a beer. In the words of many a great math textbook about patterns, this goes on for a bit. This man, who has a bizarrely long ass, by the way. I saw it once when he was getting up to go to the bathroom. Smooth, perfectly smooth head. Big, wide. This man looks like the true Brexit geezer meme. Like the guy that they always use for it. Like big, kind of reddened from a life of unhealth and bald. Keeps ordering beer. It is the worst smelling beer I've ever encountered. It is like it smells like disgustingly yeasty. You should really write more. Your descriptions are unmatched. Thank you. So a little bit past. He is pressing the fucking call the stewardess button something that I am horrified to do, because as a child I was told it was like the peak of impolite behavior to do this. It was like turning on the light in the car at night. It was not to be done. Forgive me, I had to cough. I'm still coughing. Anyway. This man is just with reckless abandon. Can I get a beer? 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 And I'm like, okay, buddy. He gets to 5 at around as many hours into the trip. And I'm like, okay. He's one of those people that needs to be drunk on a plane. That's fine. At no point, by the way, I need you to understand. At no point did I ever perceive this man become inebriated. At one point, I accidentally, knocked over one of his almost empty beers and a little bit spilled out, and I felt terrible about that, but I almost immediately fell back asleep because I was so drugged. And then I come out of my drugged stupor, and I notice that he has been doing this the whole time. There is, his seat back pocket is fucking lined with beer. There's some on the floor. And I count them, and I'm like, wait a minute. At about 8 hours, I'm like, this motherfucker has had 9 beers. They come by, service cart comes by for the mid-flight snack. For those of you who don't know how it works. On flights to Australia from LA, about an hour into the flight, dinner service happens. The flight is about 14 hours, by the way. It ranges from 14 to 15 hours. Sometimes if you get really good, winter tailwind on the way back, you can get it down to, almost 13. But that's really rare. On bad days with really bad headwind in the summer, it can climb up to 15. So, this was a 14-hour flight. At around hour 7, they do middle snack service, where they come through. You usually get some sort of sandwich. They offer more drinks. They collect garbage, that sort of thing. They do regular cart service. It's sort of a better version of what you would expect on a regular flight, where they come around with pretzels, but it's it's nicer food. So they do that. Scoops up all of these beer cans, gives them back to them. Beer. More beer. More beer. It is flowing like water into this man. He is a conduit for the yeast. The hops, this man's hops levels are through the roof. He is the most beard man in the sky. By the time we land, I'm not feeling great, by the way. I have counted. This man gets to, I'm not sure because I missed some of them, but I am fairly certain that the number was somewhere in between 12 and 15 beers. And I will remind you, at no point did I ever perceive him become inebriated. And then, this man stands up at the end of the flight, which I'm feeling pretty knackered after. This man stands up at the end of the flight, sees his traveling companions who were traveling in a different row than him, and has the fucking bravado to, when prompted about how many beers he's had, goes, I mean, hey, they're free. And the ones in the airport were fucking expensive. This man was pre-gaming! He pre-gamed this endeavor in the airport on like $15 airport beers. Totally sober. This man was drinking beer for nutritional value. He was turning down food. He was like a plant that could photosynthesize yeast. He was prepared. He had pre-gamed in the airport on the most expensive beers in the universe. I don't know if you've ever been to the San Francisco airport. It's only marginally better than LAX, but still, it's one of the most expensive places in the universe. It is one of the only places I have ever been where I'm like, this sandwich would be $5, maybe $4 back home, and they're like, that'll be $27. Probably a great luck with the lower oxygen levels and cabin pressure. Oh, he was living. He was having a better time than me. So, a bit of background for the next leg of this story. I didn't want to have my bag under my seat because then you're tight. You're like that picture of SpongeBob in the fucking sauna where he's like got his hands on his knees. It's uncomfortable. So, something you can do is, if you don't want to deal with your luggage and you don't have any connecting flights, you can go up to the gate before they start boarding and be like, hey, are you looking for people to voluntarily check their carry-on? And they will always say yes, because modern air travel is fucked. And they overbook these flights, and people bring way too much carry-on shit. So if you go up there and you're like, hey, can I put this under the plane? They're like, fuck yeah, you can. Just take all your batteries out, and you'll be good. So I kind of reconfigure everything. I take my laptop on the plane. And I give them my backpack. It's fine. It makes it to the other side. So, I get there. I'm not feeling good. I go through customs and security. By the way, Australia is a very interesting country because you enter through the gift shop. For any of you who have not been to Australia, which I assume is basically all of you, including the Australians because you live there. The first thing you see when you land from an international flight in Sydney Airport is the Heinemann duty free. And you have to walk through it like the perfume aisle at the beginning of a shopping mall in order to get to customs. So, I do this. I go through customs, I get flagged, I have to go through the dog line. They have a dog line where, like, they have a sniffer dog. What is Heinemann? Heinemann is a line of duty-free stores. It's just a duty-free operator. But it's very big. I believe Sydney Airport in the international departures actually has the largest duty-free of any airport on Earth. For those of you wondering how duty-free works, I don't know. I've had it explained to me like 5 times. I still don't understand how it works. I thought it was a beer brand. That's Heineken. Hobo piss. Welcome to Australia. I had to do it in Uluru Snow Globe. It's more like, would you like a massive bottle of liquor because it's tax-free here for some reason? I don't know how it's happened. For some reason, when you go to an airport, it's just like, yeah, you don't have to pay taxes and alcohol. Somehow we make this work financially and it benefits the host country. I don't know. Anyway, so I go through the dog line. The dog's nice. I don't pet it because you're not allowed. They sniff my bag. Nothing happens. I go through customs and immigration. I grab my bag. I change my shorts because I've been sweating all the time. Because when I can't piss, I sweat. Which is why I always get an aisle seat. But I couldn't get an aisle seat. Hello, Neon. So anyway. I go there. I'm like, fuck, I've made a terrible mistake. I brought a duffel bag and a backpack, and the duffel bag is like the heaviest object in the universe right now. So I'm gonna have to figure out somewhere to put this. So I'm running around with like 2 bags on me, like I'm encased in them. Hold on. I gotta blow it. So, I run around for a little bit. I go down to the train station. I realize I forgot to get a SIM card because I need that. I go to the Optus kiosk because Australia has duopoly, and it's like, which service is gonna work where I'm going? I asked Rumi-chan, Vivi's roommate, what service they have, and they were like, I've got Optus. And so I got Optus. If you're traveling to Australia, just get a SIM card. It's fucking fantastic. They've gotten to the point where they're like, would you like 1,000,000 gigabytes of data for while you're here? It's fine. For like $30. Like, when I first went to Australia, it was like 30. It's gotten up to 90 now for the same price. The process of installing a SIM card has also become vastly simpler. The phone just recognizes it now. It's way nicer. The only issue is you get a different phone number. Anyway, so I'm giving my passport to the guy. I'm doing all of this. And as he's like writing the phone number down, I look up and I go, oh, fuck. And he goes, what's wrong? I left my laptop on the plane. I had put my laptop into the seat back pocket so perfectly. It was like a little egg nestling in its nest that I forgot to take it with me. So I get the SIM card and I run. I'm like, where's... He points me to information. Lovely old woman at the information desk goes, okay, go to the Qantas desk. I go to the first Qantas desk. They're like, okay, go to the first class lounge. They'll be able to help you there. I go to the first class lounge. I don't look like I belong there. So I go to the first class lounge and I'm like, hey, I have a problem. And they're like, okay, we can solve this for you. So they call over, they send an engineer onto the plane. It hasn't been towed away yet. They send an engineer onto the plane. I'm like, I was sitting in seat like 47J. They send an engineer onto the plane. They come over and they're like, yeah, we couldn't find anything in seat 44J. They lead with, we couldn't find the laptop. And they're like, yeah, we checked 44J and 45 and 43J. And I'm like, no, 47. And they go, oh no. At this point, I am informed that the plane has been taxied away to sleep. Into its little home. So what they do is they have to call some poor engineer to like comedic like Benny Hill run over to the hangar, which is on the other side of the airport, climb into the plane and go and check. I am elevated to like the chief manager for Qantas operations in the airport by this point.
Some people are more bottom than others.
Hey, it's Chris. Like, I am talking to people who go to work in a suit. So, after about an hour, a man comes out from behind a wall and goes, "We have the laptop." I am feeling awful right now because I am, like, ill. I don't know it yet, but I am ill. And he goes, "It'll be about 45 more minutes because it has to go through customs on its own." So, presumably, some poor guy had to take my shit through customs as like a formality to make sure there wasn't any cocaine inside and like replacing the battery. So they give me the laptop. I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you so much, everyone. You're all so wonderful." So, I get on the train. I find like a baggage storage place. I get on the train. My bag. I now only have one bag. I get on the train. I meet Kalibi, because we were like, "Hey, I've got like half a day before I can meet Vivi in Sydney." Wah 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 wah. We hang out a little bit. I see if I go to the hotel we're staying in, and I'm like, "Hey, can I check in early?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So they let me in. That's great. I get to brush my teeth for the first time in like over 24 hours. Hang out with Kalibi a little bit more. We say goodbye. I'm like, "Hey, I'm really knackered. Can I just I feel bad for cutting this short, but I want to go lay down." I go and I try to lay down, and I just can't get any sleep. Hours pass, like 6 hours later, Vivi lands. I was so sick. I was like, I probably had a fever. So I'm running around Sydney. Like I am train hopping. I go back to the airport. I pick up my bag. I ride the bus to the domestic terminal. I pick up Vivi. I'm like, "Okay, give me your bag. I'll carry this. We gotta get on the train." I'm not okay. Vivi is very emotional because, like, life has just changed massively. So we get back to the hotel. We go to our rooms. We hang out. Vivi notices that I'm not doing so great, but she's too busy not doing so great herself to, like, actually say anything about it for the most part. Vivi made Nemo carry stuff anyway. No. I offered. Well, I insisted. Actually, no, I didn't even insist. It just happened. I was like, okay, give me your bag. By the next day, I'm like, Vivi, I'm dying. Ah! We go to the chemist warehouse and we get like a COVID test because I'm like, what if I have COVID? I can't do that. That sounds fucking awful. We get a COVID influenza combination test. I do it. The COVID line does not appear. Woohoo! And then the line for influenza type A appears, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. This was the beginning of the end. By the next day, I'm like, Vivi, I'm really dying. And Vivi's like, I think I am too. So. He could not, in fact, deal with this. We have to extend our stay by a lot, like by a week, and I feel terrible for this because Vivi has to pay for it. This was an unforeseen expense. And so we're in Sydney for another week in like prison-like accommodate. Very nice, but also like after a few days, any room you're in starts to feel like a prison. So the accommodations we were in eventually were like, I feel confined. I feel like Vivi had a better time, like had a better go of it than I did. I threw up a lot, like more than I have in the last few years. I was throwing, there was a time where I was like, oh, I ate, time to go throw up. Consequently, I lost 10 pounds on this trip. I returned from Australia not insignificantly lighter. It was not a choice, by the way. I did not choose to throw up. I put food in my mouth, and then my body said, I don't want that. It got to the point where it was almost like routine. It was like, if I eat this, I'm gonna throw up, but if I don't eat this, I'm gonna die of malnutrition. I can throw up. That lasts for I think we start feeling better on like the day before the last day we were there. We're basically healthy, but still like coughing and stuff. Like, the day we leave. So, we start feeling better. We pack up everything. We get ready. We go in the early hours of the morning, like super early. Because for some reason we got a super early flight. We had to reschedule all of that. We get in a taxi. We get in, like, fucking Sydney taxis are fucking insane. There are two types of Australian taxi drivers. The good ones, and the ones that, like, are like, I am going to become a cruise missile. Okay, Robin, go help your grandmother. This guy was fucking booking it. He was like driving in between lanes so that they could pick as late as possible which one was more advantageous. Like, we got there fast. I did not like it, but we got there. I would say the only good thing that happened in Sydney was we found new luggage for me. So I now have a nice new piece of luggage instead of the duffel bag. And I got an Akubra, the Australia hat. One of these fuckers. Yes, Vivi bought me an Akubra. Thank you, thank you. I do appreciate it. It's my new favorite hat. Apparently I look very nice in it. I got lots of compliments, even from homeless people in Chicago. So we get on the plane, and I discover this is the first time me and Vivi have ever flown together. Before this, it has always been like we meet somewhere, and we don't do the flying together. This is the first time we've ever flown together, and I discover just how much Vivi doesn't like flying. So, we take off, and that goes pretty well. Vivi is kind of uncomfortable. We get 2 cans of Lyft because apparently the way we booked our ticket, you get a $10 meal credit. Which is just enough. We didn't do this on that flight, but it's just enough to get a can of soda and a small package of Pringles. Which, by the way, in the air, when your taste buds are being affected by, like, cabin pressure and excessive nitrogen, Pringles are palatable. Anyway, so we start coming in, and flying into South Australia, or basically every Australian airport, because they all cling to the coast. Flying into any of them, you have to do a maneuver where you hook out over the water. So you fly out over the water, and then you basically do a U-turn to land. Wait, they made you pay for soda and snacks? It was Jetstar. It's like a budget airline. It's the budget branch of Qantas. And to be fair, it was like a 2-hour flight. With a fairly cheap ticket. So anyway, we start landing, and every time the plane turns, Vivi makes a very soft but very high-pitched squeaking sound. It sounds almost like a small animal that's been put in a corner. So I was like, sorry, the upper register of my voice is not great. Needless to say, she was not happy. But that only lasts for like 15 minutes. It wasn't too bad. She survived. So we land. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Rumi-chan comes, picks us up at the airport. We go to the house. It's hot. We get there and I'm like, fuck me. We step outside. Oh no. Fortunately, it's very dry in South Australia. However, it's really hot. It's like 36, 38 degrees Celsius. Like, this is the hottest Australia has ever been for me because I've only ever been in the winter. I am like, and so like for that day, I am profoundly uncomfortable. It gets better as time goes on. A real mattress gets purchased. The weather cools off. We did see a massive cockroach the first day too. Like, we went into Ruby-chan's bathroom, and clinging to the screen to the outside, because Ruby-chan has like an evaporative air conditioner that needs like one of the windows in the house open, otherwise it makes it like damp. Is like a 3-inch long like cockroach. And it's a big boy. So that was fun. Throughout the trip, things get better. We figure out like the public transportation situation. Vivi's all set up. Vivi's comfortable, more or less. Didn't know they got cockroaches too. They do. I'm actually very lucky. I have never seen a cockroach in my house. Probably because it's so fucking cold. It snowed yesterday. Didn't stick, but it snowed. I'm angry. Kill it before it evolved language skills. Listen, I am of the opinion that if another species genuinely develops like actual language, not that bullshit, the fucking apes, they don't speak sign language. Not real. It's not real. It's a lie. Coco the gorilla was a charlatan. Anyway, if they actually develop language, I will be like, okay, they're people. I would sooner okay, I can't have daughters because I got my fucking balls cut off. But if I had a daughter, or I suppose a son, but in this situation, I am the like the southern dad with the shotgun over his lap. If I had a daughter, I would sooner let her marry a hyper-intelligent bug than a robot. But if it just smells like dog, I have to be able to understand it. That's the thing. I'm still a human supremacist at the end of the day. Anyway, so the time comes. Me and Vivi are like, I miss you. I'm like, I want to stay in Australia. It's so much better here. Oh my god. So, I get on a plane. I have an overnight in Sydney. Let her be with a robot, you ass? I'm not gonna let her marry it. That's like fucking marrying that's like if you okay. Look at it through my eyes. All robots are toasters. Imagine, if you will, your daughter comes home and is like, I found the love of my life. And you're like, that's great, honey. Who is it? And they wheel in a fucking Sibian ride-on vibrator. How are you gonna feel about that? No child of mine is marrying a kitchen appliance. humans suck. They do, but I'm fond of several of them. Whatever makes her happy, better than... It's like, this is why women pick the this is why women pick the Sibian. Oh god, I'm dying. Still less strange than burying the Eiffel Tower. At least the Sibian has a function. Okay, okay. You've got me there. In the hierarchy of that, I suppose Eiffel Tower does... What the fuck are you people making me say? Fucking... yes, the Eiffel Tower does rank lower than the Sibian ride on vibrator. She's gonna marry a heavy industrial appliance like a real beep. Anyway, my thoughts about robots aside, like, okay. Okay, clarify. To clarify. I would be more okay with my offspring marrying a robot that looks like a robot than like an android. Like, if she came home with, like, fucking Rob or whatever, like a fucking actual robot with, like, gears and shit, that somehow has the ability of thought and speech, I'd be like, yeah, I guess I'm okay with that more. Okay, I'd be more okay with the toaster from New Vegas. If she comes home with, like, a Marc Jacobs, like, I don't know, fucking Fabio in a box, I'm gonna be like, no daughter of mine is marrying no android. So you wouldn't let her marry Data from the Next Generation? No. That's an edge case, because he was not intended to have the full faculty of human experience. Fucking speak the two functions required of a part. Honestly, not even fuck. Sex is mid. He was the first to die in the robot uprising. I miss him already. Okay, listen. Listen, if I had my way, they'd never rise up. I am a neo-Luddite, I suppose. I am going to, like... Listen, if everything goes terrible, I have two diverging, like, business paths. I will either, 1, become Doomsday Preacher, or 2, become a man with a shotgun and a VR headset that hunts drones. These are both paths that would bring me a great amount of joy and satisfaction. But current society is not ready for me to have those jobs. Okay, let me put it this way. Daughters of mine could marry a robot, but no daughter of mine's marrying no AI large language model. Do both Moonlight as the drone hunter and I consider the following. I do like a John Brown thing where I'm like, God told me to kill machines. Option 3, anime dude on the internet. Let's get you Otome VA roles. Yes. That's current pass. So anyway, we say our goodbyes. It's very emotional. I get off. I have to walk way farther than I'd like to my hotel because it's not, like, on the train line. And as I'm walking, I notice something about the street. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. This is kind of gay. I had unwittingly, during the booking process for the plane ticket, it was like, do you need a hotel? And I was like, yes. And they were like, we recommend these hotels. And I was like, okay, that one seems reasonable and comfortable. I get there. And I'm like, oh no. I have bought a hotel that is an efficiency that is designed for men and women, but probably men, to sleep in while they are going out and getting trains run on them in the local gay clubs. I stayed in a gay love hotel. It was very comfortable. I did throw up because I was very stressed. It was nice. I would show you the video I took of it, but I think there's a mirror involved. It did have a Smeg fridge, though. Hello, Director Chuki. How are you? I feel really bad. I was supposed to collab with Director Chugi the other day, but I was like, I don't feel good. Which we're getting to. The story has almost caught up with real time. So, I leave my homosexual bathhouse. And I grab a taxi to the airport. Very nice man drives me there. He's pretty talkative for a taxi driver, to be honest. I get there, I check in, blah, blah, blah. I go to the Wagey Cage McDonald's. Which I think I've shown on stream before. But I will show it again. Behold, the Wagey Cage McDonald's of the Sydney airport. The way this works is ordering happens on the bottom. And that's also where they handle drinks. On the top, in the yellow cube, is where the kitchen is, and they just have machine-like. Yeah, it's the hamster cage on the top. It's crazy. I ordered a Brekkie McWrap. Which is a menu item we do not have in America. This causes me extreme anguish. Ooh, big. You can see enlarged to show texture. So the Brekkie McWrap is a tortilla with tomato sauce, rasher bacon, egg, cheese, and a hash brown. It's fucking delicious. It's beautiful. It was so good. I had 2 of them while I was there. I wish I could have had like 10. Okay, drive safe. So, I have one of those. I sit down, blah, 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 at like the weirdest gate ever. It's like a waiting area, basically, like in a corner. It's bizarre. I wait for it. I get on. I board the plane. I'm like, okay. I'm not feeling great. My stomach is upset. That cleared up on its own. That's fine. I get on the plane. I have an aisle seat this time. I'm smiling. My traveling companions in my row are a father and son who are going to a rock stacking convention in Texas. Which I thought was pretty cool. They were great. Absolute legends. A what? A rock. The specifically, if you are interested, it is called the Leno Earth Art Festival, or LEAF. There is the link. They thought it was. They were very into it. And it was a father and son from oh god, I forget where they were from. Anyway, they were going to the Earth Art Festival, which I thought was really cool. They were good guys. Absolute Aussie legends. We part ways. We wish each other well. I get off. I get on another plane. From LAX to Chicago. Two of my least favorite airports. Chicago's better. But, like, getting out of the airport is hard because Chicago is such a car-brained city. What number plane is this? Of this journey, 6. Wait, do you actually talk to your neighbors on planes? Narcy, it's a 14-hour flight. We at least say hello. But yes, I am that guy. I am fucking annoying. I talk to my seatmates because I'm nosy and fascinated with other people's lives. I am endowed with the gift of language, and I'm gonna damn use it. Anyway, so I get to Chicago, and Pake books an Uber for me. The first time I have ever been in an Uber. It goes pretty well, but at one point I'm like, do I tip the Uber? I don't know the etiquette for this. We find out that Pake has already tipped the Uber, so I'm good. I get out, I meet Pake and Mocha. It's a great time. We say hello. I sit down for a while, and I'm like, oh my god, human companionship. I haven't had that in like 2 days. You were the person I fear encountering on an airplane. Oh, please understand, my ideal flight to Australia would be like sitting next to some sort of very talkative university professor. Like, I don't care what we talk, but like, I feel like that I had a psychology professor who told me about a flight he was on. My psychology professor was terrified of flying. He met when he was a young man, he met a superiorly educated psychology professor. And she basically said, hey, I'm a professor of psychology. You seem to be having a hard time. And then basically proceeded to go, in much more delicate phrasing, do you mind if I get you drunk and see what happens? Nightmare, were you a victim? No, this wasn't me. Also, he was perfectly fine with it. He was like, yes, we will do this for experimental purposes. I'm fine. So basically, she pays for all the drinks. He drinks at his own pace, whatever he wants. Um, and they just talk for the entire, and apparently, best flight he's ever had in his life. And I heard that, and in my brain, I was like, I don't really drink on planes. But in my reptilian little fucking degen brain, I was like, I want smart mommy to pamper me on the plane. And I won't apologize for that. I'm sick of apologizing for my degenerate behavior. Anyway, so we part ways. I am now in Chicago, and I'm like, I'm coughing, but I'm actually no, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. My stomach is still hurting. That lasts for like 4 days, by the way. There, honey. You're allowed to be a degen. Good. Anyway. Also, hello, Hime. How are you? It's good to see you. Look, it makes sense. But once the plane lands, you're disoriented and somebody knows your psyche. That's how you get traffic. Yeah. Awake. That is a way to be. So. Pocket and Mocha take me to a sushi train restaurant where I proceed to eat their leftovers because I didn't realize how reliant on rice I am as like a living creature. Rumi-chan made rice at one point, and I was like, can I have some? And they were like, yeah, sure. And I put some in a bowl and started eating it with my titanium chopsticks that I take with me everywhere. And they were like, you're just gonna eat it plain? To which I said, yeah, why not? And this was viewed as bizarre. So like I got back, Pocket and Mocha both had like gyudon. And neither of them finished, so I finished for them because we should talk about. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me find my review. In Australia, there is a restaurant called Guzman y Gomez. It is Mexican food. It's like Moe's, or not really like Chipotle. It's more like Moe's. It presents itself that way. There are locations in America. I need to try one because I need to know if it's different, because it was atrocious. Let me see. There we go. So, I had a chicken burrito. Vivi had a beef burrito. I got to try both of them because Vivi didn't finish, and I finished other people's food when I'm eating with them. It wasn't that bad to eat all of it. I did. I was hungry, and also I don't like wasting food, and also it wasn't terrible. So here is the review I wrote later in the day. Meat, acceptable. Chicken was pretty good. Beef tasted like it was seasoned with an old El Paso box kit. Cheese, almost flavorless to the point I had to check if it was there. Pico de Gallo, had potential but could have been chopped finer and had more cilantro. Oh, by the way, Vivi, did you taste soap when you ate that burrito? Because there was cilantro in there. I don't know. I think you'd know if you tasted soap, so I'm guessing you're fine. I guess that one cilantro thing you had was just bad. Beans. Wholly inoffensive. Those sure were black beans that probably came from a large industrial-sized can. Tortilla. Obviously not trust, but had nice fat content, so it wasn't dry. A normal flour tortilla like you'd get at Moe's. Rice. Dear God, it was plain, unseasoned, cilantro-less, white paste, Caucasoid rice. -5 out of 10. They just put, like, pasty, like, rice you would get from a Winn-Dixie in like the middle of Michigan that has been overcooked in a boiling pot of water into the burrito. No seasoning, no color, no cilantro, no nothing. Sazon-free rice. Sorry, it was blowing my nose. So, fast forward, we're back in Chicago. When I'm back in Chicago. Anyway. So, Chicago, the sun rises and the sun sets, dawn of the second day. God separates the firmament from the fucking ground and all of that. I hang out in the apartment because both of them have to go to work. They come home. I forget what we do for dinner. I don't know if we do dinner. Anyway, I go to the station. I get my ticket. Ticket fits perfectly in the band inside the hat, by the way, and I felt real cute doing that. I take the fucking Metro train. I go to Central Station. A homeless guy comes up and says, "Hey, this is really embarrassing, and I don't like doing this, but I am, like, absolutely famished. If you could spare any..." Well, first off, the first thing he does right is he compliments my hat, which I'm like, okay, I like you. And so I give him some money because I don't know how you people are. But personally, my understanding is that if you're begging, you are in a space where you are so desperate that you are willing to break, like, the largest social faux pas in Western culture. So clearly you need it for something. And it's not my business necessarily what it is. So I tend to give people money. So anyway, I get on the train. There's a whole bunch of Amish people on the train because they're allowed to use the train. I have, like, a Sbarro pizza slice that's terribly greasy, but it was very good in the train station. I get on the train. I get distracted by a hot woman in front of me, and I go to the wrong cabin. When they come around, I'm like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Beep." I say my hometown. Or rather, the station I get off at to get to my hometown. And they're like, "You're in the other cabin." The one with the hot woman. So I go in there and I look around and I'm like, shit. Every individual occupiable seat is taken because trains are not very full. They tend to be at like half capacity. So usually what happens is people fill out like one per row. So like everyone gets a window seat. The only seat left is one at the very front, which has no footrest, no tray table, and no window. And I'm like, oh fuck, oh no. I have to ride that for like 4 hours. And then thank goodness the person behind me gets off. So I'm able to go to their seat, which is so much better. Tray table, window, everything, the work. Fantastic. Beautiful seat. I love the train. At this, I get home, and I'm like, I need to go lay down. I don't... Cough, cough. The next day, I'm like, okay, time to get... Oh, no. I am coughing. I am blowing my nose. I am hooting and hollering. I am sick. I have been infected by yet another pathogen. Fortunately, it appears to be neither COVID or the flu. I think it's some sort of like chest condition. So this marks 2 illnesses in a month. I am not God's strongest soldier. I thought we were at an understanding about that, but apparently not. Did you wear a mask? I did. But the whole time I was on transportation, every time I had on a mask. I threw away the mask because apparently it didn't fucking work. I need a better mask. It betrayed me. So, that brings us to today. I've been sick for the last week. That's why I didn't come back. Oh, the other thing is, I called to try to get an appointment with my doctor. Upgrade to a scuba mask with tanks. I've considered just like going, fuck it. I don't care what other people think. I'm wearing a respirator. You'll just need Tyvek bodysuits nowadays. Everyone go around in public like you're about to remove asbestos. You're telling me you got sick every single time you came to see us? It's cursed. Okay, to be fair, this one was in the vicinity. I think part of it is that I have just... Every time I've been at your apartment, it has been during a very difficult time in my life. So my defenses are down. Anyway. I try to make an appointment with my doctor. With my new health insurance and shit. Apparently my doctor is just taking on a massive caseload or something, or is no longer taking on caseload, because they were like, we don't have any openings for like months. This I knew because I made an appointment before I left for Australia. That wasn't until tomorrow. And they're like, we have an appointment with a different doctor on the 8th. And I'm like, no, it's that's not gonna be necessary. I'll just go to my doctor with the appointment I made 2 months ago. That'll be great. Healthcare in America is designed to kill people, I'm convinced. So, that's where we are. We've caught up to regular time. Trying to think what else happened. There was this one time. So me and Vivi went out in the evening one time, which was a little bit sketchy. It wasn't terrible. But we found a dumpling restaurant. And while we were there eating, some college student walked by and, like, all of a sudden a wrapped condom is thrown at us and falls on the floor. And we both kind of look at it and, like, one of us, like, kicks it under the table and we're like, I don't want that. I mean, okay. You finally put chicken salt on fries? I do put chicken salt on fries. I have my own chicken salt at home now. Oh, also, while I was in South Australia, I finally got to try a confection that I wanted to try since I first went to Australia, but I've never had the opportunity. In Australia, they have an old people candy called musk sticks. They are named for the flavor musk, not like the smell of dick. Anyway, like the extract of the musk deer, which is now made synthetically. I like it. It's like a... Hold on, let me... It's like a pink thing. It's just kind of like pink. That's a huge image. Oh, that's way too big. Why did you take an 8K image of candy? Trying to eat here. That's on you. That's on you. Anyway. So, they're sort of like these extruded sugar paste sticks. They're kind of soft. Musk is the flavor they use for bubblegum, right? No. I don't know what flavor they use for bubblegum, but I hate it. Musk tastes like your grandma smells. It's got kind of that floral, rosy smell taste. It tastes almost like perfume. I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. You are not selling me on these. More for me. But yeah, I like them. I still have some. They came in a big bag for like $5. Never gonna eat those. Where's your sense of adventure? Where's your Epicurean drive? You have a mouth for a reason. You should let it experience new things, even if they may not be good. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I like those. Trying to think what else. Dumplings were pretty good. What else? Overall, I would say it was probably like a 7 out of 10 trip. Mom, Nemo said to put random stuff in my mouth. Yeah, I did. What are you gonna do about it? Your mom can't stop me. The corn candy I had was durian candy. It was like an onion bagel. I've never had the opportunity to have durian candy. I'm not too thrilled about it. What gets me is how many people absolutely love the stuff. That's the wild thing. Like, there are people who are like, this is the most delicious substance known to man. And I'm like, okay. Moving on to the conceptual part of the stream, I have decided some things about my life path. So, thing one, I will, hopefully, if all goes to plan, be moving out by the end of before the end of the year. No more dealing with my mother. I have also decided to go back to university because my current degree is not doing anything for me, and the CompTIA A+ certification isn't as useful as I thought it would be. So, I'm going back to college. I'm finally going to do what I wanted to do when I was a young man, but was denied the opportunity. I'm going to get a bachelor's degree in Japanese. Because, God, I need to be employable. Be a bohemian poet living in a combination brothel bookstore in Paris. God, I wish. We should all be so lucky. Bachelor's in what? Japanese. I'm gonna learn the Sun language. Pretty sure that's what. Yeah, Northern Lion. It's funny. So Northern Lion went and taught English in Korea. And from what I understand, his wife is Korean, but they met in Vancouver. It's kind of just a funny coincidence. But yeah. I may end up going over and teaching English in Japan after I'm done, because that would be cool. Honestly, like, the degree I have is basically useless right now. So, anything I do will make me more employable. And also, to be fair, I have very little debt from getting my degree because I got so many scholarships and I went to a really cheap university. So, I don't know. Life is for the living, and I've decided I want to live mine. And I'm gonna do what I've always wanted to do. Fuck it. Is it a good idea? I don't know. Do I care? Not really anymore. Nothing else has worked. So yeah, that's the plan. I have some friends that are willing to let me move in with them and help me transition into living away from home gently, and they're being super nice about it. And I'm gonna go to the university near them. Ideally. I have to, like, call them and be like, hey, I want to do this. And they'll be like, okay, money. I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll go into debt. I don't care. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I feel like I should ask what I missed. I feel like a lot of shit has happened. Like, I got back home and it was like, wait, what? Like, I got back home just in time for my country to be embroiled in a trade war with all other nations on Earth, which is fucking... Wow. Although, I will say, the greatest, I was thinking about going back to school for a while. The greatest encouragement I received, I'm really modding for you. That's okay, just being here scares off the disorderly. It's called Switch 2 because I'm gonna switch to a different hobby with how expensive the games are. Oh, you're so right. Oh my god. Ah. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, the Switch 2. I've got some takes. I watched a couple people watch the Nintendo Direct. Don't get me wrong, those of you who wanted Tomodachi Life, I'm happy for you. I am. You wanted this forever. Good for you. I'm gonna be real with you. This may be a controversial opinion, and I feel like Blue Goo would rip me a new one for it, but I don't know. But Bloodborne at Home, or like Dusk Bloods or whatever it's called, does not look good. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I'm very disappointed in how it looks, honestly. It's kind of sad. We will never have Bloodborne on any other console, and now we get like PvPvE or whatever it is, which I don't know. I'm not a fan of. I don't play Souls games to play with other people. I know that puts me potentially in the minority, but I don't like it. So I hope that this isn't the direction that From Software is going in. Like, permanently, like, it. I understand if this is like them recovering from the monumental effort of making Elden Ring and then also smaller Elden Ring as DLC for Elden Ring, and being like, we need a break. Like, they do seem to have like a new like design language or like way that they're using the engine that they seem to be a fan of, which I will say Elden Ring has nice control shit and everything like that. It's got nice mobility, whatever. I'm not very excited for Night Rain, and I'm really not excited for Dusk Bloods. It doesn't look good to me. I don't even play Souls like very reluctant to play the new PvPvE games. They get very hostile and very sweaty. Yeah. It's just not my thing. The PvP in Souls games has never been my thing. I like the cooperative aspect of it, but like I was never into like dueling or any of that. And maybe that's just for me. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people that these games are going to be really fun for at least a while. But I am always going to prefer like the other experience that they offer. There's a new Kirby racing game. I don't like racing games. Kill me. What else did they announce in the Nintendo Direct? What other goodies did they have? It was mostly just about like the Switch 2, and how it has a new button that lets you call other people slurs. How are they gonna manage that? How? Who? What? The Donkey... Okay, that I will say. The Donkey Kong game, that looks good as hell. That looks like a very good game. I'm very excited for people who like Donkey Kong, and also people who just want to play it. Good for them. I don't play video games, but I'm cheering for you. You guys are feasting with that one. That one looks good. It's a shame you gotta buy a Switch 2 for it. That makes that like what? A $300? No, like a $900 game? How much? The C is for not Discord. Yeah. It's kind of like I wanna be in the mind of whatever salaryman was in a boardroom meeting and had to nod emphatically because his superior was like, we should have a chat feature. And then everybody just went along with it. Like, buddy, you're Nintendo. You don't even let us have like our own profile images on the Switch. We have to use yours. Like, do you know how many pictures of dicks people were sending on PictoChat? Do you? Now, I will say, call me crazy, but with the Switch 2 being like, oh, you can use it like a mouse. We may be on the cusp of a renaissance. Because I have found that people who admit to having used the DS... I never did this, which is why I'm not creative. But people who admit... I also didn't understand how Wi-Fi worked. The people who admit to have used their DS web browser feature to look at porn all grew up to be fantastically creative individuals. Imagine the art and culture we could have in 10 years if the Switch 2 has the same functionality. I use the PSP. That feels Canadian. Like, it's almost normal, but it's not. DK is 70, only Mario Kart is 80. Why the fuck does Mario Kart have to be $80? Why is it open world, too? That's, like, fucking... Why? He's calling me a fucking normie? No! The opposite, actually. You're like a... That's weird. You owned a PSP. That puts you in the gross minority. What how much is the Switch 2 price? How much are they selling this shit for? Okay, so if you want actual Christmas. If you want the Switch 2 and Mario Kart together, like the Switch 2 and a game as a treat, it's $500. That's whew. What was the MSRP for the DS like? $130. Wow. I think I got mine for $99. 2000. 8. 10. $99 in 2010 today. Or it's like $150. Yeah, it's uncertain because of the tariffs, and they are apparently not factored into the price, which is, oh boy. Yeah, they pushed the pre-order date. Apparently only for America, right? Like, the Canadians are feasting over there. They're just like, oh yeah. But yeah, I'm not a big Nintendo head. I never really have. I had a DS. I had very few games. I played my Pokemon, and now I'm no longer interested in Pokemon. Oh, did you see the fucking in the Pokemon ZA in Pokemon like South Africa, the fucking small business tyrant taxi driver, because they're like, you get granted a wish if you get to rank A, and there's a taxi driver in the trailer who's like, if I get to rank A, I'm gonna ban all transport except for taxis. I saw that and it was like, slaughter this man. He is an enemy of the train. But yeah, that's how my life has been. How have you guys been individually? Any big life events, good ones? Any momentous occasions I've missed out on in the last 2 months? Jesus Christ. Shaved your head. Damn. Good for you. Life isn't that interesting, honestly. Sometimes it's nice not to have an interesting life. Sometimes your life gets really interesting in a bad way, and that's not great. Thank you for the follow. Hey, yo, Diggity Dogs. Coming in with the Ned Flanders. A fascinating opening move. A dog put to sleep? I'm sorry. That's always difficult. My mother is kind of my mother is the designated dog person of her friend group. Like, she's done it like 15 times over the last 20 years. Because all of her friends are like not up to it. So she's like, I'll do it. Yes. I do think we are going to wrap up. I just wanted to have a little story time. And also, I am still sick. I am still recovering, and I'm terribly hungry. So, I just wanted to do like a short little stream, catch up with you. I'm back. Also, I am making you a promise. I am putting my hand in the mouth of truth. I am blood oathing right now.
Some people are more
It's Blue Goo!
than
Just
others.
in time for the end of the stream. Haha. I'm so sorry. Blue Goo, real quick. Duskbloods, yes or no? I need to know. I mentioned you earlier. I mentioned not being into it and that you might beat my ass. It looks like another FromSoft D game, baby. You're so right. Look at us having the correct opinion. But yeah, I'm putting my hand in the mouth of truth. I am blood oathing right now. Should I lie, may all of my blood leave my body. The moment I am not coughing, I am recording a new audio. We are getting back on the ASMR baby girl grind set. That's a promise. Oh, that's the other thing. I just looked over. There's one more thing that changed while I was gone. I got back home and I turned on Discord. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know if you've ever had the experience of being away from a piece of software and you come back and it's just like the UI is completely different. But it's like, oh God, what happened? I don't recognize my family's faces. Anyway, we're gonna find something great. Who is streaming? I've forgotten how to pick people to raid. Jesus Christ. Let's raid a person who I believe is Dutch playing Minecraft. That'll work. There we go. Start the raid. Thanks for hanging out with me. I assure you, longer streams are on the way. We'll get back into the rhythm of things. We'll do the dailies, that sort of thing. We'll have a grand old time. It's just, unfortunately, right now I'm kind of at my limit. Because I'm, like, having to pause every 5 seconds to cough. So, it was lovely being with you all. I'm gonna go eat and then probably nap. And I'll see you all real soon. Bye bye.